This video will demonstrate how to load skill programs and run them within the Allegro PCB editor. I have a skill routine that I'm going to run. It's called drc_walk.il, and it will walk through every DRC in my design one at a time, pointing to them in my window and explaining what that DRC is. That program currently exists, drc_walk.il, in my users ABC skill directory. The issue is I have to get the PCB editor to recognize that. If I do a command called get skill path, remember any command that starts with a left parentheses in the command line will be interpreted by the skill interpreter. You can see that based upon the directories that are listed, that directory doesn't get read. So if I just type in load drc_walk.il, it cannot find that file. I could try to load in the entire absolute path, load d:/users/abc/skill/drc_walk.il. You can see where I came down here to do that. But that's very painful to do, and I can now do a DRC walk. But I don't really want to enter that whole string in every time I start Allegro. I'd like to have that all happen automatically. So what I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to create a skill initialization file. And the skill initialization file is going to do two things. One is going to reset my skill path to some directories that I have for me specifically. So the second line here that starts with set skill path is going to reset my skill path. It's going to point to this first directory here, users ABC ALL enter skill. Then it's going to point to users ABC skill, which you remember is where my DRC walk routine is. And then it's also going to load in the default skill path because there are some routines in there I want to use, and I don't want to lose them. So my skill path now, after this second line here runs, will be pointing to all these directories. Then what I can do is load in as many routines as I want to automatically so that every time the Allegro PCB editor starts, these routines will get loaded in. So I can, since I reset my skill path to point to here, I can simply say load drc_walk.il. So I'm going to write this file, and the file name is going to be called allegro.ilinit, and it has to reside in your PCB env directory. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart Allegro. And let's take a look at our skill path now. We'll do a get skill path. Notice now that the first two directories are the two new ones I added in, the ALL enter skill and users ABC skill, then all the default ones. And remember, I did a load, so all I really need to do now is just run the program. I run that by saying drc walk, and the routine is already loaded. So now every time I start the Allegro PCB editor, my skill path will be changed, and that one program will also be loaded in and ready to be used. So remember, the key point here is to create this file called allegro.ilinit, store that in your PCB env directory, and then you can set your skill path to whatever you want and load as many skill routines as you required. This concludes the demonstration on how to load skill programs and run them within the Allegro PCB editor.